Just this afternoon, the state superintendent came to our On Your Side studios to clarify her thoughts on teacher licensing and salaries.
Just one of the many topics Sherry Ybarra discussed in her first in-depth interview as Idaho's new public schools leader. Idaho Education News reporter Kevin Richert joins me for this special Making the Grade. You said transparency will be key.
Yes.
Does it start here right now?
It is starting right here, right now with you. Being open and honest and getting a lot of folks at the table. That was part of the silent tour, is less talking and more listening, so that when decisions are made, they're made based on what people are looking for and what's best for students.
Superintendent Idaho, I asked Governor where he is on the tiered licensure proposal, and he sided with the State Board of Education, and he was very clear that he'd like to see this move forward this session. You want to go slower. Explain why you think it should go more slowly and how you intend to try to make that case.
Well, I think when we talk about going slower, that doesn't mean that we are not, the State Department of Education doesn't support tiered licensure or career ladders, because we do. A quality educator is one of the most important factors at the classroom level and with children for achievement. But it's important to remember that we can always change legislation. We can always monitor it. It's not written in stone.
I think there's a perception in the state of Idaho, and maybe even from the outside when you start to look at trying to draw businesses into Idaho. Education is the #1 thing people look at. And I believe that there's a perception out there that Idaho's education system isn't up to par. How do you fix the image?
You know, as far as that perception, education is the cornerstone of America, and so it is really important that we work on making sure that people are educated about things like tiered licensure and career ladders and the standards and the vision moving forward.
And in the state of Idaho, half of our kindergartners are not meeting a benchmark level, meaning they're not coming into kindergarten necessarily ready to learn. How do you solve that problem?
You know, and you just said that they're not coming into kindergarten, and so when we talk about reading and we talk about education, that actually starts at home. And so as the state superintendent of public instruction, it is one of our responsibilities at the State Department of Education to make sure that we sing that from the rooftops, that education actually starts at home.
And where does the state enter into that?
You know, I'm so glad you asked me that, because that again falls back into learning begins before kids get to school, but we all know that not everybody has that opportunity. And so there's a lot of research out there that states for every $1 that you invest in preschool that you get an $18 return. And so what I would like to see is us partner with some businesses around Idaho to actually pilot a preschool program. I've looked at quite a few of those and have that on my radar as a project that I would like to get started.
You're 3 days onto the job, and you come out of a very close election.
Yes.
I mean, 49% of voters did not vote for you. How do you try to win them over? How do you try to convince them that you're the person for this job?
Well, as I stated earlier, it's more going to be in my actions than in what I say. So in moving forward, I think my executive staff and some of the decisions that we've made already prove, just 3 days into the job, that it's going to be my actions that really show that education is my passion and my focus. And I've been on the job for nearly 20 years, and I love everything that I do, and I love the kids, and we can do this, Idaho. I'm very excited, and the voters made a good choice, and I am so happy to be here, and we'll just keep moving forward, and they will see that every decision that we make is based on the one most important commodity that we have, and that's our kids.
Tomorrow night, it's our On Your Side viewers' turn. You sent us some tough questions for the new superintendent, and I asked. Her answers tomorrow night, right here on Fox 9 On Your Side.